Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and to our viewers on SABC News Channel 404 and other channels online and radio. My name is Bongi Kwala, and I'm honored to be your program director on this august occasion to reflect on the life and times of our struggle stalwart, anti-apartheid activist, the last standing Rivonia trialist, and Robben Island prisoner, Andrew Mukiti Mlangeni, Istwalandwe, Siaparangwe. Tata Andrew Mlangeni turns 95 years old today. Happy birthday, Sam. Today we honor the embodiment of integrity and wisdom, the man who committed all his life to the fight for social justice, equality, democracy, human rights, and many other rights that not only South Africa but the whole world appreciate today. Those rights are enshrined in our Constitution, a document from which many countries of the world have taken a leaf. Ordinarily, we would have celebrated this milestone by gathering at the humble home of this stalwart, but COVID-19 has forced us to go digital in what is now known as the new normal. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Mlangene's story is one of fortitude, resilience, and the triumph of human spirit. As one of the pathfinders of our liberation struggle, Tate Mlangeni continues to be one of the stars that shines the brightest in the galaxy of political heroes and heroines. Thank you to the generosity of the June and Andrew Mlangeni Foundation and the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation. We are therefore hosting this webinar that brings together a host of luminaries, comrades and friends of Tate Mlangeni, including our Honorable President, Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa. We are grateful to the trustees of the Mlangeni Foundation, its chair, Professor Hlengiwe Mkhize, and Tate Mlangeni's family, who partnered with the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation for making this event possible. Tate Mlangeni remains active in his party, providing a moral compass to ensure that it remains true to the values espoused by the founding fathers of the African National Congress. He is remarkably humble and still lives among his people in Dube, Soweto. His struggle credentials aside, Tate Mlangeni dedicates much energy to helping the poor and vulnerable, distributing blankets and food to the needy through his foundation. Words cannot do justice. So we've put together this short film to illustrate the stature and caliber of the men we are honoring today. Enjoy.
Tate Mlangeni has gone through each and every phase of our struggle. The liberation struggle, the armed struggle, and of course long-term imprisonment with all its brutalities. But you know, when he came out, he still had that compassion, you know, saying, I want to do something for ordinary people, starting with Soweto first.
He's a fighter. I think also that he was one of those first MK recruits. His training has stayed with him for all these years. That even when the doctors were about to give up, himself, the spirit of fighting was there. And also he says that he thinks that what God sent him to do here in this world is not accomplished as yet. That's why we keep on fighting, you know. And I want to wish him more, many years to go. And because it's still very early for me to lose him. You know, we've been reconnecting after many years of separation. When he was arrested, I was still a young baby. And he came out of prison, I was out of the country. So we had that many years, more than 30, 40 years that we haven't been together. So I would like him to live longer so that we can continue our, you know, he's a dad, he's my dad, and he's my hero. And at the same time, he's my comrade and a golf buddy. You know, so I would like him to be strong so that we can still go and play golf.
For us today, it's an opportunity to reflect on the lives and times of Tate Mlangeni, a great man who sacrificed his youth and went for military training. Fortunately or unfortunately, on his return, he was arrested by the apartheid regime. And of course, he is now well known as one of those Rivonia trialists. But for me, what really remains a mark in my heart and something which I will take with all my life is really his humility. Tate Mlangeni doesn't throw his weight around. Even when you sit in a meeting, you have a conversation, he will always, you know, show that respect and humility and compassion and understanding. So he shares his story.
It's important for me to carry for the legacy, his legacy and my mom's legacy, because it meant a lot to them. And it also personally means a lot to me that we have to help the poor. As we have been doing now for over years, we have been distributing winter blankets and distributing food parcels, and we have also been helping some schools with school kids, with shoes and all those kind of things. So I would like to continue that legacy, to build the foundation and keep on helping the people of this country.
And we were not sure what he wanted to do, and then he told us about the blanket story, that his late wife, June, in his absence, started getting blankets and making sure that ordinary people are given, each family is given a blanket in winter. Something which, you know, from where we're sitting with a generation of affluence, you don't even value. But when you see the people he has awarded, you realize that it's like warming their hearts in the cold winter days of Soweto, which can be cold and harsh. So he is that kind of a person who is able to rise high, but also be able to go down and be with the people in the true sense of the word.
What a remarkable story. I now call on Professor Hlengiwe Mkhize, the Foundation Chair and Deputy Minister in the Presidency for Women, Youth and People with Disabilities, who's largely been instrumental in organizing this celebration webinar, to say a few words. Okay, we will come back to Professor Hlengiwe Mkhize, who is chairing the foundation. But of course, let's continue then and go back to that story. I apologize for the technical glitch, but let's go back to that insert.
But also, Excellency, former President of the Republic of South Africa, Ndate Kgalema Motlanthe, who is the patron of the June and Andrew Mlangeni Foundation. His Excellency, former President of the Republic of South Africa, Ndate Thabo Mvuyelwa Mbeki. And also to acknowledge the Speaker of the National Assembly of South Africa, Parliament, Mayor Thandi Modise, Ndate Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi Sitishenge, also Major General Utata Ubantu Olomisa Siyabulisa Tata, and all other ministers who are participating, Ubaba Unathi Mthethwa, Me Lindiwe Sisulu, and Dade Blade Nzimande. But above everything, I would like to acknowledge our partner on in this webinar, the Regional Director of the Rosa Luxemburg Stiftung, Mr. Jan Liedeka, also the trustees of the June and Andrew Mlangeni Foundation, members of the Mlangeni family, relatives, comrades, and friends. It's an honor and privilege to welcome you all on the occasion of celebrating the 95th birthday of the hero of our struggle, our veteran Isithwalandwe, Rivonia trialist, Dr. Andrew Mukiti Mlangeni. As trustees of the June and Andrew Mlangeni Foundation, we've come to love and honor you, Ntate Mlangeni, a husband to your late dear wife, May June, and a father to your children, grandfather, and the great father. After giving up your studies owing to poverty, you worked as a factory worker and a bus driver, where you were active in strikes for better working conditions and a living wage. In 1961, you were sent for military training outside the country, but on your return, you were arrested and accused of recruiting and training underground operatives. Alongside other Rivonia trialists, you were found guilty and sentenced to life imprisonment at the Robben Island. Ntate Mlangeni, you have continued to play a prominent role in democracy by picking up a fight against corruption, the scourge of gender-based violence, economic injustices, racism, and all other forms of discrimination and abuse of power. We salute you, Ntate. Friends, this year we commemorate 44 years since the 1976 students' uprising under the theme Youth Power, Growing South Africa Together in a Period of COVID-19. We believe that the past should be interrogated so as to understand our present circumstances and be empowered to shape the future we want. Today we need to shape our minds as agents of change for a just, equal, non-racist and inclusive society. The global community, more than ever before, need young leaders who are committed to actions that seek to ameliorate the global challenges, including increasing civic education, standing up for equality, human rights, environmental and economic justice. These are the ideals and values for which in Mlangeni you have fought for. Young people need to be in the forefront of finding long-lasting solutions, taking into consideration lessons learned from the COVID-19 global pandemic and from many other perennial challenges that persistently haunt humanity. Tate, Andrew Mlangeni, you will never be forgotten, for you not only endured the hardships related to racial injustices, but up to today, you have chosen to break the silence and to take a stand in tackling our challenges in democracy, as you did when you took a stand to disobey unjust laws by choosing to be in the armed struggle. In closing, Tate Mlangeni, I wish you a happy 95th birthday. As you said this morning, 59, filled with lots of love, happiness, and good health. Your humility and simplicity will always be appreciated and will forever be inspired by your service to humanity, as clearly articulated by Martin Luther King Jr. An individual has not started living until he can rise above the narrow confines of his individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity. It has been 56 years since the Rivonia Trial, and the country remains grateful to still be learning from your life story. Our freedom did not come easy, and you are a living testimony to that. I thank you.
I like Babu Mlangeni because he is not somebody like maybe I'm a celebrity. You see, sometimes you want to talk to her or him, they don't care for people, you see. But Mlangeni wants to hear what we are saying, and he can help.
Tate Mlangeni is a very warm person. He's a loving person. He loves people. He loves everybody. He has been like that ever since I knew him. He would go house to house estradweni sethu, efuna nabaphilayo nabasengekhoyo, axelele ubani uyaphila ubani akasaphili. Yaba yinto enjalo nje.
I went to his house once, but we couldn't find her because we had something to complain about. We knew he can speak and then be understood because of his age and experience in life. Yes.
Nasibuza abantwana bayafunda, abantwana baphasa umatric. I, for one, I had a son who passed matric, who couldn't get further. Nobutatakhe bebhubhile ngenamali. Tate Mlangeni helped me through that. Ukuthi umntana mafunde. Till my son graduated.
So we started about 15 blankets. Then it grew
until it was for the whole ward of Dube, Juni Mlangeni Dube, because that name came after his wife. So, Mlangeni, I don't know what to say about this man. Kind, everything, used to give to Dube residents, whether you are which organization, he didn't care. But everybody was getting everything from that man.
We are pleased to see him still living. His age is really remarkable. And I wish him good health, so that he must come again and give us blankets. It's winter now.
I wish him a long life, because I see he's tired, because he works very hard for the people. That's why I wish him a very good a very happy birthday. And then he did everything for the old ladies of Dube. He gave us blankets, he gave us grocery. He's a good and humble man. That's why I love him so much.
Wow, moving tributes indeed. Rosa Luxemburg was a Polish Marxist, philosopher, economist, anti-war activist, and a revolutionary socialist. Like Mlangeni, she paid a high price for her political convictions and was jailed for opposing the First World War. I now call upon the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation's representative, Jan Lediker, to say a few words.
Good day. My name is Jan Leidecker. I'm the Regional Director of Germany's Rosa Luxemburg Foundation, here based in Johannesburg. We are a political education supporter who is trying to support initiatives all across Southern Africa for peaceful and just and democratic political culture in the Southern African context. And we are very happy and proud that we were able to collaborate and support with the June and Andrew Mlangeni Foundation in today's event, in today's webinar, in today's celebration, not just of Andrew Mlangeni's life, but also of his work and the ideas that him and others stand for. The Rosa Luxemburg Foundation has been for many years a partner of numerous organizations in South Africa that deal with the past and with memory and with the lessons to be learned. One of our key partners is the Lily Sleeve Trust, the space where the Rivonia trialists were captured and which is today now, I believe, one of the most astonishing memorials to the meaning of the struggle for peaceful and free democratic South Africa. It was there that actually a new South Africa was forged by the ideas of those who started the underground, the struggle against the racist apartheid regime. And the ideas that were developed there still have meanings today. The Freedom Charter, the idea of having a peaceful, a post-racial, democratic and free South Africa. And I believe that if we look back today at the heroes of this struggle, those who paid so much and made so many sacrifices, I think there is a necessity again for this country, for those who work in education, to bring these ideas back to the open. We call it, and Lily Sleeve calls it, the memory against forgetting. And for us as a democratic socialist organization, that's very important because we believe in numerous aspects that need to be highlighted again and again. First, the struggle for peace, democracy, for social justice is not just intertwined, it's also never over. So every generation has again and again to struggle again to reinforce these values and to build a more peaceful and just society. South Africa is currently struggling with an economic crisis on top of a racial and of a social and a public health crisis. And I believe in these times that it's very important that this country comes together and builds the response to this on the lessons that are learned from the struggle. It's not one for each other, it's only when everyone comes together that this can be overcome. And maybe also overcoming some of the problems that are left over from the struggles, as President Ramaphosa so eloquently said. I believe today, if we look back at what Mlangeni and the others sacrificed and what they stood for in terms of justice, peace, democracy, non-corruption, and honesty, and it's then something that has something to tell for us. For us as a German organization, it's important to underscore that there was an international dimension of this. Just as we see today in the struggle against the COVID-19 epidemic, and as we see it was a struggle, it was a global struggle. It required international solidarity, and people all across the world came together in support of the fight against apartheid South Africa. And I only think that the struggles we see today can be overcome in international solidarity. So as we celebrate today, and as we remember today, all those who gave up so much, and all those who are still with us, and whom we have to cherish in days like this, let us also take the main lesson. It's worth to pick up the fight, it's worth to overcome the struggles, and it's worth that we learn from their spirit and sacrifice to overcome the struggles we face today, which is economic hardship, inequality, or racial injustice. And with this, again, we are very proud and happy that we could cooperate and support this webinar today, support the struggle, and we would like to engage further with you, and we really think that there is something that can be learned for the future. And with this, a happy birthday.
Hello, afternoon. This is Lebo M calling in from beautiful KwaZulu-Natal, taking a second to thank, honor, and celebrate our icon, our living legend, our hero, Ntate Andrew Mlangeni. We thank you so much for your life. We appreciate all your efforts. We appreciate your journey through the struggles with the organization and the movement, the African National Congress, and our beautiful country, South Africa. I'm truly honored to be blessed enough to be alive in your lifetime, Tate. Please have a beautiful birthday, and we honor you and we thank you. Happy birthday, Tate.
Hi, Tate Andrew. Good morning. Happy birthday to you. I can't tell you what it means for me to have this opportunity to celebrate you and to say to you that you mean the world to so many of us. I never forget how you made me feel seen at a time where all there was just fog. How you stood up for me when my legs couldn't carry me. How you spoke for me when my voice was muted. And how you reminded me when my legs couldn't carry
me. Dumela papa, o kae? Ke Morini firstborn ya hao. Ke o wishetsa happy birthday Saturday. O be le letsatsi le monate, o re philele tjeka bana o re philela. Ra thaba ho ba le wena, ho ba le ntate moholo le mme le eng, o ntotse kaofela ho rona re le bana ba hao. Re leboha Modimo sampana o babaletse hore o re baballe wena. Ra o rata papa ka haholo. Tjeka bana ke dula le wena mo. Ke tla ho misa ka starta ha ke sa o se ka ba le wena ka pete ya hao. Mara ke re o be le letsatsi le monate, o enjoye, ba go phehele bo via le bo mpume, o je, o kgore, o robale, o tsohe, o je, o itumele. Re thabile kaofela re le bana ba hao le ditloholo tsa hao. Ra thaba ho ba wena o setseng le rona mo lefatsheng mo. Ha re sana motho o mong mo philong wena fela o le one papa. Ra leboga haholo, re leboga Modimo. Thank you God for o re babalelle wena. I hope Modimo o tla ho fa more years to come again, so that we can be with you until. Rataba hulu papa balwele. Ditlo tsa hao kaofela di a leboha, di o thabetse haholo hore o be le rona until this day. O tlo ba 95 yo ai le rona re batla ho fihla moo re phetse re fihle mo 95 ya hao papa. Modimo a re rata wa ho rata le wena, so ke re le mme maleng teng a thabe haholo ho ba le monna o ntse a etse 95 a tsa a shebile bana ba hae. Ra leboga haholo hore re be le wena. Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord, for keeping our Father with us and to be with us forever and ever. Amen. Hallelujah. Happy.
My name is Noktula Manyathela. I'm the daughter of the late Ndate Kenneth Mlangeni. Happy birthday, Mkhulu. Happy birthday. On behalf of my mom, Mam Tlantla, and my brothers, Junior Lee John, we'd like to wish you a blessed birthday. We wish you many more years of good health. We thank you so much for all you've done for the entire nation and the family at large. We love you so much. Thank you. Have a blessed day. Mwah.
Hello, Langi. Happy birthday. Many more years to come. Thank you, Papa, for all that you've done for me throughout the years. May you receive many more years. Papa, I appreciate being very strict at all times, which has made me the woman that I am today. I'm grateful. I love you. Happy birthday for me.
Happy birthday, Mkhulu. I love you and I miss you very much.
Hello, dear Papa. I want to wish you a very happy birthday, and I would have liked to be with you today so very much. Love from me.
Beautiful messages there from the family. And in isiZulu we say ukhule ungakhokhobi. And then Tate Mlangeni points out that it's 59, not 95. Tate Mlangene's family has always stood by him, even during his years of being jailed at Robben Island. It couldn't have been easy to bring up 10 children on her own, but his late wife, June, kept the home fires burning. He, in turn, has kept her legacy alive by continuing with June's community work through the Mlangeni Foundation. We have Silva Mlangeni to tell us more about Tate Mlangeni, the husband, father, and grandfather. Community work through the Mlangeni Foundation. We have Silva Mlangeni to tell us more about Tate Mlangeni, the husband, father, and grandfather. Community work through the Mlangeni Foundation.
On behalf of the Mlangeni family and the Ledwaba family, would like to wish Papa a very 95th birthday. And on this day, Papa, we say enjoy. It's your day. We love you. You have heard the messages from all the family members, everybody else. And to correct, I've corrected this so many times. Papa only had 4 children, not 10. It's my sister Maureen, myself, Sylvia, the late Aubrey, and Silla. Only 4 children. And maybe 10 grandchildren and great children. We all wish you a happy birthday, and I hope and believe that wherever our mother is, she is looking upon you on this day, and she is also wishing you a happy birthday in heaven. Your mother, your father, your brothers and sisters are all with you in spirit wherever they are. And on behalf of the Ledwaba family as well, they also wish you a very happy birthday, Papa. We, your children, love you so much, and we wish that you could enjoy your day and be grateful that you have reached this day today. I'm not the kind of person who say I, because I'm not alone. We are a family. So on behalf of the whole family, we would like to wish you a happy 95th birthday. On this day, we say enjoy. You said we're going to have a braai. We are going to enjoy ourselves today. We are going to braai. We are allowed to drink today, because the president had said we can buy liquor. So I hope there is something for us to drink on this special day, because it's a special day for you. We are so grateful as your children to have you as our father. On this day, or when you're celebrating your 95th day, we wish we could, as my sister Maureen said, that we wish we could also reach 95 years, and we wish we had many more. We wish that we could reach 100 years. May God bless you and increase the years that you have lived on earth. We still miss you. We still need you. We are proud of you. We are proud to have you in our lives. Your grandchildren, your great children are all here in spirit. Some of them couldn't come today because of the coronavirus, this pandemic that is in our country. So they couldn't come to celebrate this day with you. So happy birthday to you. On behalf of all the Mlangeni family, we are grateful to have you in our lives. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so excited and fortunate to witness your special day celebration. On your 91st birthday, may you only know the joy, peace, and health that comes with a life well lived. Thank you for holding us together throughout our lives. Thank you for giving a true meaning to our lives. I promise to hold you on to the profound life lessons that you have taught me. Throughout your entire life, you have demonstrated how much you truly love us. We thank you for your patience, love, and support. You've always been here to help us in our time of need. We appreciate your thoughtfulness and hope you have a truly awesome 95th birthday. Happy birthday.
My dearest grandfather, today I want to wish you a blessed, excellent health. Thank you, Nkulu, for your wisdom, words of encouragement. I am who I am today because of you. You supported me while I was isolated, and I managed to complete my studies. Your letters, your cards, and your words of encouragement. Today it's your turn to shine. Today it's your turn to be celebrated. Let the world know you are in our lives. I wish you a blessed, and I wish God to continue to give you good health, to give you more wisdom, to be able to guide us. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Mkulu. We just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. We wanted to thank you as well for all that you've done for us and our family as well as our generation. Thank you for your contribution to the country and your selflessness with regards to the whole nation. We are very excited to see many more years with you, and we wish you a long life. And thank you for everything from the football, cake, happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Andrew. 95. Well done. Congratulations.
We're absolutely thrilled that today we were able to send you greetings for your birthday, your 95th, and just feel it. We owe you so much for the love and the care and the wonderful gift of friendship that you gave us and our family.
Whenever I think of you, I always think of you and June, and then your family, as we've gradually got to know all of them. And it's a wonderful quality that both of you had, because you were obviously dedicated towards each other, but you were also dedicated to your family, and you were dedicated to your country, the release of this country from shackles. And that was a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant thing that you did, and it cost hugely. Don't underestimate that at all. We as a family first saw you in Portsmouth around Christmas Day, and we had what did we do?
We gave June a lift from Cowling House to Portsmouth for her double visit to you.
Yes, well, that was quite a while. We had the children were quite young. It was quite a while. We were in a room waiting, and then we got a sense that some movement was happening, and there was no June. There was this man wearing a prisoner's uniform, and with another man who's obviously a warder, also in the uniform, and you're looking down towards these children. They're hanging onto the bars. It's like a post office, these brass bars, and they're looking and eager to see you, to talk to you, to hug you. And then you say something to the warder, and he says, and off you go, out of sight. And June comes to join us. She says, well, what he said was that they're only children. And he said, it doesn't matter. That was quite a thing. Then I jumped to the day that you were released. What wonderful news. And the phone at home went at 7 o'clock in the morning, which for me was very early. And there was this person who was talking, saying, hello, David. And this is Andrew. Andrew who? And there's all these people talking in the background, and you say who you are. And I'm just amazed to hear from you, and it's wonderful. And you say, I'm released, and I thought I must phone you straight away to say thank you very much for you and what your family has all done for looking after June and for my family.
We're in Cape Town.
Beautiful, beautiful messages there. And still Sylvia earlier on was talking about the family braaiing. Yes, it's allowed, you can braai, but you need to adhere to COVID-19 regulations. Social distancing, mask, hand sanitizer. As you can see, I have mine. We are honoring the men of integrity who fought for social justice for all. And now we hear messages from a range of speakers, starting with Inkosi Mangosuthu Buthelezi via Skype. Sheng.
Our guest of honor is Dr. Andrew Mlangeni, Silla, and members of the Mlangeni family. His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa, His Excellency President Thabo Mbeki, Excellency President Harima Machante, patron of the June and Andrew Mlangeni Foundation, Honorable Minister Lindiwe Sisulu, MP, Minister of Human Settlements and Water and Sanitation, the Honorable Minister Nathi Mthethwa, MP, Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, the Honorable Minister Dr. Blaine Zimande, MP, Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology, the Honorable Deputy Minister Hlengiwe Mkhize, MP, Chairperson of the Mlangeni Foundation, the Honorable General Holomisa, MP, President of the UDM, Mr. John Jan Ledika, representative of the Rosa Luxemburg Stiftung, friends and distinguished guests. For the sake of brevity, I was tempted to forego the observance of the strict protocol, but I felt it important to record that we are in the presence of presidents, ministers, leaders in government, politics, and civil society. This alone gives the measure of the man whom we celebrate today. None but a giant could elicit such admiration, and none but a servant of the people could attract such praise. My personal admiration of Dr. Andrew Mlangeni is born of many years working alongside him in the National Assembly, and many more years of knowing his impressive leadership, patriotism, and integrity. The sacrifice he made, spending 36 years in prison for his ideals, is one of South Africa's that South Africa will never, ever forget. The name Andrew Mlangeni is remembered among the greatest names of our generation. He rightly deserves our gratitude, and we're honored to be able to express it while he is still with us. For the Lord has granted my brother a bonanza of years. Unfortunately, as someone who shares the gift of bonanza of years, I can attest that longevity is somehow bittersweet. Dr. Mlangeni and I have outlived many of our contemporaries with whom we worked side by side in the service of our country. There are so many friends and comrades who are no longer here to say happy birthday with us to Istolando. We miss their presence. In their absence, however, I'm humbled to say that what they would surely have said on this special day, well done, thank you, and keep going, Kasela. For those who know Dr. Mlangeni, the words keep going will say it all. There seems to be nothing capable of stopping him, either from on golf course or off it. He's driven by his passion for freedom, equality, integrity, and hope. I've never seen him rest. Even when we were young men waiting to embark on our journeys, he pursued excellence in everything he did. In 1947, Dr. Mlangeni, the late Mrs. Joe Matthews, and I all wrote our matric exams. The two of them were at St. Peter's, of course, and I was at Adams College. We like to emphasize how we had, in fact, written the joint matriculation board examinations, and we told ourselves that the JMP exams were exclusive and better than any other senior certificate exams. Even then, we sought to be outstanding. It was during our schooling that we both became political activists. Dr. Mlangeni found himself being taught by none other than Mr. Oliver Tambo. I can imagine that his lessons were imbued with the same political bent as my own classes were under Professor Z.K. Matthews. We could not avoid engaging in politics, for we were exposed to these great minds and encouraged to believe that South Africa could in fact be changed. It was up to us to change it. I think that notion persists in Dr. Mlangeni. He has not handed over responsibility to anyone else. He still feels it, as I do, the responsibility to contribute. I was not surprised, therefore, that when Dr. Mlangeni's long career in Parliament came to an end, his voice never diminished from our national debate. He has remained a source of wisdom to guide us through difficult times. When he speaks, we listen. That has always been the case, for he has a very commanding presence. More than that, when he speaks, you know that it is coming from a place of honesty and weight. There is substance to everything he says. I remember how we listened to Dr. Mlangeni in Parliament, who was an elder to whom we look for wisdom. And I got very annoyed when there was rowdiness while he was speaking, and I said, can't we even listen to an elder? At that time, our speaker, Honorable Max Sulu, quipped and said, listen to Elder Buthelezi. He says you must listen to Elder Mlangeni. Well, several years ago, I said in Parliament that by circumstances of history, Dr. Mlangeni and I became custodians of a past political era, an era in which integrity, morality, and righteous leadership prevailed. His fellow Rivonia Trialists belong to that area, to that era, and they're all gone. And other men like Rolly Arnstein, Bishop Alpheus Zulu, Dr. Wilson Zamindela Tongo, Mr. Nelson Mandela, Ms. Robert Sobukwe, we all belong to that era, and they too are gone. How to imbue their lives, their values rather, in new generations, to ensure that what they believe survives? That is something I think about often. And I know that my brother, Dr. Mlangeni, ponders it too. The best way we can do it is to live those values publicly and privately, continuing to give ourselves to our country for as long as the Lord enables us to do so. I know that Dr. Mlangeni will continue to play a meaningful role in the policy of the well-being of South Africa until he draws his last breath. For that, we are enormously grateful. How wonderful it is to have a leader of his caliber, wholly committed to our nation's good. When His Excellency, our President, Cyril Ramaphosa, said on his 93rd birthday that he was Mr. Integrity, that you are Mr. Integrity, Kansel, that said it all for me. With nothing but gratitude and admiration, it gives me enormous pleasure to wish Ntate Mlangeni good health, good strength, and enduring happiness. Kasela.
Minister there of Sports, Arts and Culture, Nathi Mthethwa. We can see you, Minister, if you can just send your beautiful birthday wishes to the birthday boy and Tate Andrew Mlangeni. And we thank Inkosi Mangosuthu Buthelezi as well. Still to come, we will hope to hear from Babu Holomisa, Blaine Zimande, and many others, of course. Let's go back to the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Nathi Mthethwa.
Thank you so much, Program Director. To Stalonde, Siaparankwe, Ndate Andrew Mlangeni Nkokheli, the President of the Republic, President Ramaphosa, former President Mbeki, former President Motlanthe, Inkosi MG Buthelezi, Ministers Sisulu and Zimande, the Deputy Minister Mkhize, Mr. J.J. Lideker from Rosa Luxemburg Foundation, General Bantu Olomisa, members of the Mlangeni family, members of the June and Andrew Mlangeni Foundation, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I extend my warmest greetings to all of you present, especially our birthday stalwart, Ndate Andrew Mlangeni. Is Twalandwe, a person who outlived apartheid colonialism, a man and a gentle giant who outmaneuvered his jailers, a combatant who ensured that all the ideologues of apartheid are outsmarted by himself. To you, Ndate, we say, happy birthday. May you see many more. You share your birthday with the entirety of youth in the country here in South Africa. You also well in your league to be sharing your birthday with the likes of Birthday Month, with the likes of President Thabo Mbeki, President Xi Jinping, the late Comrade Krisani, the late Muammar Gaddafi, the late Che Guevara, and many more. That for us indicates that this is indeed a month of heroes, of young people, young at heart, as you and Mlangeni continues to inspire youth in this country. Many generations of youth dealt and fulfilled their missions. Yours was at the forefront when you formed the ANC Youth League and led that organization. And all other youth generations followed suit. The youth of today is faced with different challenges. And we are happy that we still have you in our midst who, through your own capacity and your own prowess, especially in sport, are still showing young people how to do it. This year, the youth is commemorating this day and this month of Youth Month under the theme Youth Power, Growing South Africa Together in the period of COVID-19. As we move with celebrating your life whilst you are still alive, and that Stolandwe, we once more want to commit ourselves to ensure that all the programs we are involved in, we continue with them, are celebrated, are known in the country as a golfer par excellence. Yourself will continue with the program for developing youth through Golf Development Charter, through your program of Andrew Mlangeni Golf Day, through the program on Andrew Mlangeni Green Jacket Award. No one today in this country would authentically tell a story of Rivonia Trial, but yourself in that day. And I'm glad that the department which I'm leading, Sport, Arts and Culture, was able to honor you and give you with your comrades and colleagues in 2016, that the Goldberg, Uncle Katrada, and yourself, you received the Rivonia Trial digitized, the whole 370 hours trial, which is now available to everybody in society in our country. And with that, we hope that people would understand more the sacrifices you made. We have learned from you. We have learned love, the abundant love you show your people. All the sufferings you went through was because of the love of your people. You also showed us, by force of example, how to be disciplined as a young person, as a revolutionary, and will always remember all those with you, because to us, you are a stalwart of the struggle for a free South Africa. You lived for a united, non-racial, non-sexist, democratic, and prosperous society. Even today, through your actions, through your words, you place emphasis on the unity of our people. You place emphasis on the true non-racial society. And because you understand that our agenda is to create a non-racial society. Racism is a pernicious ideology which has to be defeated at whatever time it manifests itself. Sexism has to be defeated. We learned all of that from you in that day, our stalwart. We want to say that all what you lived for, all what you wished, all what you still dream of, the things you thought and planned with your comrades and your colleagues for a truly free, non-racial society, we will continue where you and your comrades have started the journey. May you have many more. Siaparankwe, Stolandwe, happy birthday, Kokeli.
Thank you very much to Minister Nathi Mthethwa there. Still to come is the National Assembly Speaker, Mayor Thandi Modise. But for now, Minister Lindiwe Sisulu, Minister of Human Settlements, Water and Sanitation. Over to you, Minister.
Thank you. Can I go ahead? Can you hear me?
Open for me so that I tell you. Yeah, Minister, we can hear you. You can go right ahead.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I want to send all my love to Uncle Andrew. I love him lots and lots and lots. He is the most favorite uncle I've ever had. I remember seeing him for the first time when he came out of Robben Island. He had come to Swaziland to thank the Swazi government for looking after the people who were there as refugees. And you're interfering with me now. Can I continue? Yes. And he looked an absolute amazing ambassador for the African National Congress coming to Swaziland. And I was so, so proud to be there next to him. The first Rivonia trialists that I'd come across since they were released. And then we came home and he became a member of parliament in 1994. And he was every bit of everything that the ANC would have wanted every member of the ANC to be. Integrity, honesty, dedication, commitment, everything you could ever wish for in a member of parliament. And he didn't mind sitting where he was sitting there in the back benches. And that is how he always portrayed himself. Whenever he was asked about himself, he says, oh, me, I was a backroom boy. He never was a backroom boy. He was one of the first trained militants that we have. Just before Mkhonto Wesizwe was inaugurated, he was trained in China, had the advantage of meeting Mao Zedong himself, but always very much wanting to be in the background, not wanting to take the front seat where he belonged. A great sense of humor, loved golf. When I was with him a week ago, 2 weeks ago, he said to me, well, his wish for his birthday is that by the time that his birthday comes, he hopes that President Cyril Ramaphosa would have unbanned whiskey. He has Uncle Andrew, and I hope we have good whiskey today to enjoy the day. We are so fortunate as South Africans to have you still with us. And I hope that the rest of the country understands just what contribution you have given without asking anything in return, without demanding anything in return. You still remain extremely humble, extremely giving, extremely loving, very committed to the ANC. I don't know what to say. I love you very much. And I know right now that Auntie June, wherever she is looking down at you, loving you very much. I think the best thing that's ever happened to you was to find a woman as beautiful as Auntie June and marry her and have her look after you and the children. And I hope she's looking down from heaven right now, loving you still like we do. For me and the family, every one of us will love you very much. You remain the kind of icon that we should put out there for everybody to see, that this is what made us what we are, giving everything and demanding nothing in return, and sitting there very much in the back seat and looking on and making sure that we keep to the course. Thank you very much for everything. I love you, I love you, I love you.
Dadu Mlangeni Sithalande, happy 95th birthday. You have been a good example for many of us. We have been looking to you for guidance, whether we play golf, whether we are in parliament with you, whether we are in public debates. You have batted well during your innings. I still remember as if it was only yesterday when you and other colleagues of yours, after you were released from prison, you paid a visit to Mthatha, and even then you guided us. That's why Transkei had a peaceful transition from late 80s up to 1994. Thank you very much. Once more, happy birthday.
We now introduce the Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology, Dr. Blade Nzimande. Perpet. Okay, we're going to try and fix that sound. Don't forget that we're still going to hear from Mayor Thandi Modise, who is the National Assembly Speaker. This is a beautiful, beautiful event, and the technology is something else. We are somewhere else, and the speakers are all over the country, and it is just flowing. We will go to Tate Mlangene's home later on, and we'll hear from him. We're celebrating his 95th birthday today, the man of honor, the man of integrity. He chaired at some point the ANC's Integrity Commission as well. And some people felt that, he was not at times, forthcoming and strong enough. But he's always said that he likes working in the background. He likes pushing other people to take the forefront, and he sits in the background. And he controls, not so much control, but he directs from the background. That is the man that we are honoring today, who turns 95. Thanks to everyone who's making this possible. The foundations, thanks also to the chair of the foundation, Professor Hlengiwe Mkhize, and thanks to everyone else who is here. Okay, so we've prepared some videos, beautiful videos from you, as we heard from the family, from everyone else, and we're still going to hear from the likes of Robert Marawa and many others who are wishing and Tate Mlangeni a happy birthday. Happy 95th birthday. Let's see if we can't reconnect with Dr. Blade Nzimande, Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology. Former President Thabo Mbeki also joining the lineup and in wishing Tate Mlangeni a happy birthday. Let's go there.
I'm very, very happy indeed to have this opportunity to say a very, very happy birthday as you celebrate your 95th year. A very, very happy birthday indeed. I'm very pleased that I have this opportunity because, as you know, maybe you don't know this, that you've served as an inspiration to many of us for many decades. You stood out as an example of what we ourselves would try to be. I remember many years ago, beginning of the 1960s, maybe to 1961 or thereabouts, seeing people like yourself, like Alfred Nzo, like Thomas Gobi, and other people who about whom we should say very little, people like Bartholomew Tlhapane, like Patrick Giraffe Mthembu. Remember those years. I'm saying that even then, we were very, very young, but you were around. We met you frequently here in Johannesburg, when people were still working out of Makosa House. Even then, we, as young people, looked up to people like yourself, others of that generation. These were our leaders. These are the people who gave us hope. that the struggle for freedom would succeed. And indeed, when the armed struggle started, and indeed then you got arrested and appeared in court, I was not personally not surprised that you had been one of the people that gone to China, the very first recruits of MK, because indeed I'm saying that you had served as that kind of inspiration. So when you reappeared now as an MK militant, I'm saying again, to us this said, this is a route that the rest of us must follow, because it was necessary to sacrifice. You'd shown us that it was necessary to sacrifice, if necessary, in order to secure our freedom. And indeed, when you appeared in the Rivonia Trial, after the judge had said you people were guilty, before passing sentence, Abraham Fisher, who had been your chief defender in the case, Abraham Fisher came to London, and then we met him then. He briefed us about what had been happening at the trial, and briefed us about the discussion that you people had had, to say that there must be no appeal in the event that the judge said sentenced you to death, that there should be no appeal, because you would depend on the masses of the people to engage in struggle to defeat that objective of the regime of hanging him. That it would be incorrect to put your future in the hands of the apartheid regime by saying you're going to appeal, and therefore to demobilize the people while they wait for the outcome of an appeal, which the apartheid regime could very, very well reject. So I'm saying that Andrew Mlangeni, who's been for so many decades an inspirer, an inspirational leader, an example to all of us, and indeed that has continued to this day. I was very, very pleased, for instance, when I heard more recently that in the last few years you served as a chairperson of the Integrity Commission of the ANC, because indeed your whole life is a life of principle, a life of integrity, a life of commitment to the struggle, a life of love for your people, and a determination to do whatever you needed to do to make sure that all of us are free. I'm saying that for me, that inspiration comes from 1961. As a young person arriving in Johannesburg, you were there already in that echelon of the leadership of the ANC, which said, despite the fact that the ANC was banned, the struggle continues. So I'm saying it's a very, very happy occasion for me to say to you, a leader, an inspiration, person of integrity, who's an example to many generations, including my own. Very, very happy birthday, and indeed I'm sure I'd like you to really enjoy it, this 95th, and may you have many, many more.
Former President the Thabo Mbeki Izizi Jamakas Chatu. We move on now, and we hear from one of our sportscaster, Mr. Robert Marawa.
Happy birthday, Babu Mlangeni. Wow, 95 years. Where do I even begin? The last time I had the honor of meeting you, you brought about a sense of dignity and a sense of fatherliness that I'd never experienced in anybody before. The fact that this year, 2020, marks almost 30 years since the release of the Rivonia Trial, but then 2020 also sees you as a sole remaining member of the Rivonia Trial. Says a lot to me, says a lot to the country. I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. I think 95 means that you just have another 5 years to 100 so that we can all celebrate, be with you, be in unison with you, and just say thank you. Because all that you've endured through your struggle life can only be celebrated by all of those that are left behind. Salute, Mama. Happy birthday, Stalando.
Happy birthday to Tate Andrew Mlangeni. 95 years, wow, what an amazing journey. A struggle stalwart who fought for the freedoms that we enjoy today. I know you're a very keen golfer, and we can't wait to see you again strutting your stuff on the fairways, hopefully soon. I wish you many more years. May the good Lord guard and keep you, and can't wait to play a round of golf with you again. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Baba Mlangeni. Siyabonga, Baba, yonke into osenzele yona. We thank God for your life, and we pray to God that He blesses you with more life. Ngoba siyadinga. We still need your wisdom. We still need you in our lives. And thank you for the sacrifices, Baba, for everything that you did for us. We thank God for your life. Unwelo lude, umenjalo, ungakokho.
All right, thank you very much for that. Let's move on then and link now with Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology, Dr. Blade Nzimande. As soon as you see me, Minister, just go right ahead. We can hear you.
Thank you very much, as director of this important occasion. Let me start by greeting His Palandu Babu Mlangeni, and also greet our President Cyril Ramaphosa, former Presidents Mbeki and Montante, fellow ministers who are with us here, and other leaders, Ubabu Shenge and General Olomisa. Babu Mlangeni, we want to say to you today the very best birthday wishes from the South African Communist Party, its leadership, and its membership. I do want to say to us now, especially the younger generation, that you are indeed a living ancestor. Not only is it you who is lucky to be alive, of course we are very lucky and we celebrate that, but we think that it's us who are even luckier, because we are still able to draw from your wisdom, and your being around actually being a living example, in a way also a living museum and testimony to the sacrifices in our revolution. I think I must just say this. Former President Mbeki, of course, had tons of personal experiences with you. I remember particularly one encounter with you when you were still a member of parliament. It was in 2009. I had just been appointed as a minister, and I came into the chamber, the house, without a tie. And you slowly walked and came and sat next to me. And I said, "Oh, Baba, what have I done now?" He said, "Listen here, you may be having your own ideas, you know, including your own communist ideas, but you can't come to the house as a minister without a tie. And this is not about your personal choices, it's about the role you play and who you represent in this government." You'll be pleased to know since that day I've never gone to the house as a minister without a tie. That was just a sign of discipline, and for you, what you regard as respect for one's role, which is what has kept you as an exemplary leader. I just want to say quickly, Babu Mlangeni, that my own description of your own generation is that yours was a very special generation, which was very visionary and understood at every point of our struggle what was done. Whether in initiating the formation of the ANC Youth League in 1944, the Defiance Campaign in the 1950s, and of course, even the decision to start the armed struggle in the early 1960s. And also, when time came for negotiations, you also were in the forefront. And today, when we talk about this, it may sound easy. These were not easy decisions at the time. And there were difficult decisions that required what in the SACP of late we call a combination of strategic consistency, but with tactical flexibility. But also for many of us, you're also part of a generation that I often describe as a generation ahead of its time. You decided to fight against racism, not through another form of counter-racism or some kind of African chauvinistic mobilization, but you chose to fight racism with a more superior alternative vision of a non-racial society. It was easy in your days to simply want to organize counter-hatred against the white population. I'm saying we are a special generation because you taught us that lesson. You don't have to fight evil with evil, but fight evil by coming with a better, more superior alternative. To us, that is a very, very important example. Let me also then take this opportunity to thank the family, sorry, and the family and the foundation for looking after this old man for us on a daily basis. We are indeed very much appreciative of that. And Babu Mlangeni, we say, don't feel guilty. As you sometimes, when you talk as if we have lived too long, we still want you around, we still want you strong, continuing to be a living testimony of the resilience and the determination and the vision of our revolution for a better South Africa. Unwele lute baba, siyabonga kakhulu.
Thank you very much there to Perpetual Dr. Blade Nzimande. Let's go now to the National Assembly Speaker, Thandi Modise, on Zoom.
President Ramaphosa, President Mbeki, President Motlanthe, Ntate Buthelezi, Comrades, ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered today in a very rare occasion to celebrate one of our own. Our father, a leader, a former member of parliament, a former political prisoner, and a golfer of note. We celebrate you, Sir Parangwe Sabatu. We celebrate you, Dr. Mokiti Andrew Mlangeni. Ndade Mlangeni, you and your comrades, the Rivonia Trialists, and all those who came after you, motivated us to join the struggle and to stay on no matter what. Your names, your leadership, your courage invoked deep within us the commitment to stay on and to fight until we achieved emancipation in our lifetime. In the military camps of the ANC, your names reverberated in song and in poem. Your bravery, sometimes we imagined that Comrade Pifo and Pashe were imagining. Whatever it is that they told us about you pushed us to the limits as we tried to walk in the footsteps of you who came before us in military. We want to say that in the streets of our townships, in small groups, in the defiance marches of our people, your sacrifice motivated, your sacrifice endured. From Kholihlahla to Tate Susulu, to Omgaf, to Mdala, to Goldbeck, and to the youngest pair, you and Kathrada, you crept and stayed in our hearts. Our mothers did not let us be. They reminded us of you. They reminded us of a duty to stay on course to liberate not only you from prison, but to ourselves and to our futures. They reminded us that it was important for us to stay together, to fight together, so that we can tomorrow see it. As one of the first MPs in post-apartheid South Africa, you were members of parliament. You gave us leadership. You gave us clear directions for our constitutional democracy. Your leadership was clear. Parliament was about the people. Parliament is about the protection and the promotion of rights for all. It must be about service. It must be about selflessness. It must be dependable. It must be service with humility. That vision, that instruction that you gave us is what sustained most of us to continue staying on. To ask the awkward questions in the attempt to make sure that even the smallest voice in the streets of Soweto or Dry Huts are heard. You have played your role well, Ndate Mlangeni, for us, the younger ones, to follow on. You have taught us that we must always look at the other side of the argument. You have taught us to look for reason, to mediate. You have also showed us that being active in and amongst our communities is a better way to involve the community in the decision-making of government. You have met a lot of people through your golf, something that some of us will never do in 100 years. Today we say this happy birthday to Ndate Mlangeni, fighting a war against the coronavirus that has already taken 800 lives. I trust that your discipline, Ndate Mlangeni, will enable us to stay together as a country, to wage a war against this coronavirus. I want to think that your teachings in Parliament will make sure that we are watchful, that we will not allow any space for corruption or any unchecked authority to erode what we have established as a people in our human rights and culture. We must be committed to good governance in your name. We want to assure you that Parliament will continue to follow your examples. And just in this, I want to say to Minister Nati Mtetwa, I do hope you heard the impassioned cry of Ndate Mlangeni on the day of Sona this year. Please heed the cry of the former political prisoners minister. Comrade Andrew, last year on the occasion of the Cape Peninsula University of Technology bestowing on you and Comrade Dennis Goldbeck honorary doctorates, you confided in some of us that you felt like you were turning 30. And I wasn't surprised at all, because I know how active you are. I know how youthful you are. And I take this opportunity, Comrade Andy, to wish you a very happy 31st birthday. Leave the 95 alone. But before I finish, my leader, there is a small committee that you established after the passing of Meju, when you were receiving too many invitations from volunteers to fill up the vacancy left by our mother. Now, Comrade Nosivu and I have noticed that our finger wagging duty has not been used much in the last few years. And we were wondering whether you are considering to disband this little committee. Should we step down, Plegas? We want to say, Phila Morena, Rephilele, Phila Morena, as a living example, not only of your family, not only of the ANC, but of this country and all those who care about it. Happy birthday, Comrade Andy. Happy birthday, my father. Happy birthday, a friend. Happy birthday, a marriage counselor. Urephilele Ndati. Ke a leboga.
Beautiful words there to describe Ntate Mlangeni. And thank you very much also to Mayor Modise earlier on. We now have the pleasure of introducing the former president, Kgalema Motlanthe. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon to Ntate Mlangeni and happy birthday to you, Sitwalandwe Seaparankwe, Moetapele. We find ourselves ravaged by this coronavirus, and your birthday, which happens at this time when our country and the rest of the world is experiencing these ravages of coronavirus. Your birthday fills us with joy, because it is a birthday of one of our most revered, humble, respected, hardworking leaders that this country is blessed to have. Omendro, when the trial, which send you and the rest of your comrades to prison. The trial was officially known as the State versus the High Command and others, later popularly known as the Rivonia Trial. During that trial, you'll recall that the state presented the late Patrick Mthembu as a state witness to testify particularly against yourself and Date Elias Motsoaledi. But because Patrick Mthembu came from Dube village like yourself, he never presented any testimony against you, but piled all his testimony against Elias Motsoaledi. And the defense team was staggered when, during one of the recesses, you confronted the defense team and demanded that they should correct this testimony of Patrick Mthembu, because you claimed that you were equally implicated and involved with your comrade Elias Motsoaledi. And so that to us spoke to your courage and sense of solidarity and comradeship, that you were not prepared to gain your acquittal at the expense of your comrades, and that you were only keen, knowing quite well that the testimony could have sent you to the gallows, but you were prepared to take that because you had taken a decision that you weren't going to apologize for your activities, because those activities were in pursuance of a just cause. And that's what sustained you, even through the dark years of incarceration, partly in Robben Island prison and Portsmouth prison for 26 years. And when you came out of prison, you took off and continued exactly where you had left off at the time of your incarceration. I recall you were in charge of the ANC fleet of vehicles, and because they were all registered in your name, but driven by a whole number of different drivers who collected a number of traffic offense tickets, and So when the accumulated amount of those traffic offense tickets caused you to be hauled before a magistrate, I remember your plea in that court. You said to the magistrate, look, I spent 26 years of my life in prison. Give me any other penalty, but don't send me to prison. And the magistrate understood you very well. I'm saying that this lightheartedly to indicate to you that you have lived your life with passion and action, and never shied away from making choices that now, with hindsight, to those of us who were not exactly in your boots, appear to have been, very difficult choices. But all of this is what really earns you the respect of the cross-section of South Africans, is what earns you our respect. And I recall also when you were in the National Assembly, you never, in spite of all what you had contributed, in spite of your stature as is Twalande Siaparangwe, you never sought to be included in the cabinet of the day over a number of administrations. You never sought to chair any of the portfolio committees. You were happy and content to remain lending support and guidance to fellow parliamentarians. I recall you and Ungosi Mangosuthu Buthelezi were, contemporaries, and so a steady hand. You were a pair of steady hands in guiding the National Assembly through lawmaking and how to hold the executive and the other arms of the state accountable. And so this speaks to the title of your own biography, which is the background boy, because you've always sought to be in the forefront whenever duty called, but to be at the back of the queue whenever plaudits, awards, and recognition were being dished out. And through that way of leading your life, you inspired a whole generation. And most of our generation draw inspiration from the example of your life and strive to emulate the manner in which you've lived a life of sacrifice, courage, and giving, because you gave the best years of your life to our people and the country, and you continue to do so in the area of sports as well. I know as a patron of the June and Andrew Mlangeni Foundation that you continue the good work that Anjun was involved in, and you continue to interact with the younger generation as an equal. You never ever pull rank, you never ever use your age and stature to inform how you interact and engage with young people. You always do so as an equal. And for that, we are eternally grateful to you. We hope that we will be in a position in the future to build and create a society in which the only elites would be your generation of elders who would give in their all to society and the young children. I know that it breaks your heart when you read that a young person has lost its life simply because of want. And this coronavirus has exposed and laid bare the fact that too many of our children still live in fetid and squalid conditions, and therefore hazardous conditions. And we hope that post this coronavirus, we will not go back to where we were, but that we would be able to pull out all stops to create this kind of society that you and your comrades laid your lives for. So once again, Andrew Moketi, ke mokete ka jeko lena re a o keteka motlokwa o phele o re philele hle. Happy birthday, Andrew. Thank you.
Thank you very much, former President Kgalema Motlanthe. I now have the pleasure of introducing the President of the Republic of South Africa, the Honorable Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, to talk about his relationship with Ntate Mlangeni, his contribution to the struggle and continued involvement in the political and social life of South Africa. His Excellency, Mr. President, the floor is yours to address Ntate Mlangeni and the nation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies, President Thabo Mbeki, President Kgalema Motlanthe, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, General Bantu Holomisa, members of the Mlangeni family, ministers and deputy ministers, leaders of various organizations, the Alliance, and many other organizations, and leaders of political parties, officers and leaders of the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation, leadership of the Andrew Mlangeni Foundation, comrades and friends, and of course, our guest of honor, our hero and father, Ubabu Andrew Mlangeni Isitwalandwe Seaparangwe, who was born on this day 95 years ago. Today is indeed a celebration, but also a triumph. It is also the few who get to reach such a milestone. Baba Mlangeni, all of us who are participating in this celebration, we wish that we could be like you one day and grow up. And as I'm looking at you, I say, when I grow up, I do want to be like you and grow up to 95 and still be as healthy as you are, as sharp of mind as you are, but as a fellow golfer, still be able to hit a ball as straight as you do, always on the fairway, and always able to enjoy a beautiful walk, and a walk that is only spoiled by hitting a ball. Baba Mlangeni, we give thanks to your health and well-being and remain immensely grateful for the incalculable contribution that you have made to this country and its people. We will never be able to be in a position to thank you enough for the sacrifices that you have made. It is said that virtue is its only reward. Today we pay tribute to a man whose life has been rich, but not in the material sense, rewarding, but not with title or position, and fulfilling, but never blighted by arrogance or conceit. I know this is a day tinged with sadness because there would have been a seat reserved at this birthday celebration for Babu Mlangeni's dear friend and comrade Dennis Goldberg. Though we have all felt sorrow at his passing, we know it has been all the more difficult for you because he was your close comrade. We'd become used to seeing you together at national days, at rallies, and other public events. We have all marveled at your boundless energy and enthusiasm, at your firm grasp of issues affecting our people, and at the sheer depth of your commitment to this country. Mlangeni, you've been our conscience. You may not have been aware of this, but you've been a national conscience, encouraging and supporting us where we did well and steering us back on course where we have faltered. In doing so, you've been consistent and principled. Your life has been one of struggle and immense sacrifice. We know of the young man who was forced to leave school at an early age to care for his family, about a bus driver, joined the workers' struggle and then the ANC Youth League in 1951. That is you, that has been your life. We know of the activist who was present at the Congress of the People in Kliptown in 1955, of the cadre who was sent to China for military training in 1961, and of the Rivonia trialists and a political prisoner who spent 26 years on Robben Island. Then there is also the little-known fact that you once moonlighted as a man of the cloth, as a man of religion. Very few people know that in the early 60s, when you were hunted down by the police, Babu Mlangeni instantly became Reverend Moketi Mokoena of Dube in Soweto, replete with a certificate of priesthood. Don't even know who made that certificate for you to be a priest. You had a collar, and you even had the gown, which we call the purapura, and masqueraded as a man of the cloth, a reverend. Maybe you could even have become a bishop, but that's what you were. Using this priestly disguise, he was able to travel across provinces to organize meetings and address MK structures. I'm told it went well, except for the time You started eating at someone else's house without blessing the food, which is a known thing about people of the cloth, that before eating, you are the very first to say, let us bless the food. You didn't. Or at the time when you lit up a cigarette, much to everyone's shock to see a man of the cloth lighting a cigarette, then you gave yourself away, that you were not really a man of the cloth, you were masquerading as someone else. Then there are the forces that shaped him, Baba Mlangeni. Baba Mlangeni was born into a world of segregation and dispossession, where the insidious effects of the 1913 Native Land Act deprived his family of their ancestral home, forcing them to live on 3 separate farms as labor tenants. Having been people who owned their own land, they were now reduced to being wanderers and labor tenants in the land of their birth. We know of the struggles that defined his early life. To obtain an education, to find employment in the city, to support his siblings, and of his grief at the loss of a father when he was still young. There are many experiences in Baba Mlangeni's life that left a deep impression on me, as told to me in many conversations over the years and relayed in his biography, The Backroom Boy. I reflect on them often, for they are a reminder of just how high a price was paid for the freedom that we enjoy today. Yet none has found greater resonance for me at this particular time than the year 1946, when he finished his schooling and had to look for work, but found himself unable to do so because he did not have a dompas. For that entire year, he recalls, he lived in fear of deportation from the Transvaal back to his rural home, or worse yet, of being detained and forced to work on the potato farms in Betal. By compelling us to carry a pass, our oppressors wanted to remind us that we were unwanted and that we were strangers in the land of our birth. And tearing our passes up and burning them and refusing to carry them, no matter what the cost, we were reclaiming far more than our right to walk the streets in freedom. You and our forebears, by refusing to carry these books, these passes, were reclaiming our very dignity. This episode has particular resonance at this time because across the Atlantic Ocean, thousands of kilometers away, the dreaded dompas has resurfaced. In the United States, our Black brothers and sisters have embarked on a massive fight to reclaim their dignity. The killing of George Floyd has opened up deep wounds for all of us. But these are the wounds that our brothers and sisters in the United States live with day in, day out, week in and week out, year in and year out. The struggles waged by you, Baba Mlangeni, and the fighters of your generation were foremost in the service of the people of South Africa. But they were also for the cause of liberation of all who suffer under tyranny and oppression. That is why we stand in solidarity with our African American brothers and sisters and express our wish that the American people can reconcile, as we did, and close once and for all the doors of racial injustice. The dignity they seek is the dignity that Babu Mlangeni has fought for his whole life. I know that it has pained him deeply to witness acts that infringe on the dignity of others. I know that seeing our children in mud schools, seeing men and women collecting water from dirty rivers, and seeing pensioners sleeping outside pension pay points have aggrieved him greatly. And he has not hesitated to speak out when necessary. It has been of great concern to him, and is a concern we share, that 26 years into democracy, we have still not fully met the developmental aspirations of our people, and that this is an affront to human dignity. The promise of a better life for all that was made in 1994 cannot be deferred. The process of historical redress, particularly on the land question, must be accelerated. The transformation of the economy must also be accelerated so that its benefits can be felt and enjoyed by all. We must address the legacy of racism that has resulted in Black people living in impoverished areas far from places of work and opportunity. We must press ahead with the policies of redress and affirmative action to bring more Black men and women into the world of work. Babu Mlangeni, you have sounded the warning many times. You have consistently and constantly reminded us that our impressive constitution means little unless the rights that it enshrines are guaranteed and are fulfilled. You have spoken at length of our responsibility as leaders of this country to meet the expectations of our people. Unless we make this a world that is truly free of the dompas of the heart and the mind, we will never be a united nation. Our guest of honor is the great link between our past and our future. In his life, we gain insight into the importance of loyalty to a cause, the virtue of selflessness, and of unwavering commitment to the upliftment of others, and not to seek benefit for oneself out of public resources. We also draw lessons on the qualities of leadership, such as bravery, honesty, empathy, humility, and being principled. President Kgalema Motlanthe has reminded us that even as you went into Parliament, you never sought for yourself any high-flying position. Humility always underpinned the way that you served our people. Before you went to prison, whilst you were in prison, even after you came out of prison. Your life has been an inspiration to me and to many others. Babu Mlangeni, we wish you the happiest of birthdays. You are a national treasure. You are a national asset. And we are thankful for your continuous presence in our public life and in the life of the African National Congress as a mentor, as a guide, and more importantly, yes, as a critic. In the words of Martin Luther King Jr., I quote, "Everyone has the power for greatness, not for fame, but greatness, because greatness is determined by service," close quote. You have served your country and your people well, with great distinction. May we continue to benefit from your wisdom and your counsel, and may we prove ourselves worthy of your support and your confidence. I wish you the happiest of birthdays, and may you grow old and be the seer that our country needs to give us guidance and to light the way forward. I thank you, Baba Mlangeni.
Mr. President, dear Libu, thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the time has arrived for the man of the moment, our guest of honor, the birthday boy himself, to say a few words. Babu Andrew Mlangeni, over to you. For the man of the moment, our guest of honor, the birthday boy himself, to say a few words. Babu Andrew Mlangeni, over to you. For the man of the moment.
You can speak.
You can speak, Robert.
Yeah, they said I must speak.
No, yeah, yes.
Yeah. I don't know if I see the camera.
No, yeah, don't worry. Yeah.
Yeah. If I don't see it, it sees me, I'm sure.
Yes.
Thank you, Comrade MC. Our Deputy Minister, Mkiza, and all of us, all of you comrades who are here to celebrate with me this very important day to me and also to my family, of course, yes. As I was growing up, I never thought I would even reach 50. 50 years to me at the time was like 100 years. And when I reached 50, I said, well, it looks like it's simple to reach 70. And it went on just like that. I never thought that I would reach this age that I'm reaching today. When Madiba reached 75, he was so fragile, if I may put it that way. He was like a cabbage to me. And I'd always said, if 75 years of life means to be like Madiba, then I hope I will not reach that age.
95.
95. I don't know what I said.
75.
I said 75. Yeah. And people were always saying to me, Mlangeni, it's not you who's going to decide at what age you're going to die. Somebody else, God or whatever, or Creator is going to decide. I've accepted that. I want to thank you all, comrades, for taking time for organizing this event under these difficult conditions. And I have no words to thank you. Honestly, I don't know what to say. But I was told I must be very, very brief.
because honestly, we want to go and eat and drink. I hope everything is ready for us to eat and drink. We've been sitting here for too long. I want to thank you all for taking the trouble of organizing this and for giving yourselves time to attend to this. Thank you very much.
Mlangeni siyabonga kakhulu ngathi uNkulunkulu angikupha eminye iminyaka eminingi futhi. Silla Mlangeni has worked tirelessly over the past few weeks with the Mlangeni and Luxemburg Foundations to organize this celebratory webinar in honor of his father. Silla, Tate Mlangeni's youngest son, makes closing remarks now. In honor of his father, Silla, Tate Mlangeni's youngest son,
Thank you, sir. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon, people at large all over the world. I know that there are a lot of them who are watching. Program Director, thank you for giving us this opportunity, and I'd like to thank His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa for the kind words, of encouraging words. We thank you very much. And for taking your time. We know that you are very busy, you have a very tight schedule, for agreeing to be part of this celebration. And you heard that we had so many words, a man of integrity, a humble man, a backroom boy that was celebrating today. We thank you, Mr. President, for those kind words. And I'd like to thank also former President Thabo Mbeki for the kind words you have spoken, and that you say he was a role model. Right back in the 60s, when you came to Joburg, you met him for the first time, and you are looking, at him as a role model, a man of integrity. Those words are still echoing today as we go forward. And I remember also when I was also looking up at you when we met sometime in Nigeria, that was 1977, when you invited us to come to your house. There we were a chief rep. And I was looking to you as a role model, as you did look at my dad as a role model. Thank you for those kind words. And we'd like also to thank you, former President Kgalema Motlanthe, for taking your time and to be with us today to celebrate, as you said, East Holland, the icon of our struggle. Tate Mlangeni has been a forefront of our struggle for many years. We want to thank you also for those kind words. And I would like to thank all, of course, I won't make, the list is long. The speaker, the national speaker, Mr. Ndimudise, Minister Sisulu, Minister Blakens-Zimande. We want to thank you all, Minister Natim Thetwa, all for your kind words to celebrate this day. It's an important day because if you go back when he turned 90, he was not there to celebrate his birthday. Even when he turned 94, he was not there to celebrate his birthday because of ill health. But as I've said before, he's a freedom fighter, and he's fighting also for his survival. He has fought. Now we've reached 95, which I never thought then we'll ever reach 95. But for that, we thank all the supporters who have been there, the good messages, and also the doctors that have been looking after him. We thank them very much for keeping him alive for us. And I would like to thank also the public at large. I know we've heard so many messages from people. Even now, phones are ringing to wish him good health. We thank you all. And of course, this thing could have never taken place without the help of our partners, Rosa Luxemburg Stiftung, which is foundation, We have partnered with them from the beginning. We've been aiming to do something bigger than this, but unfortunately, due to the coronavirus, we have opted for this option of doing this webinar. And for that, we thank you and our good partnership that is, we're going to go a long way. And if I've forgotten someone, my apologies, because I know the list is long. We want to thank also the foundation and our chairperson here, Professor Mlangeni. We have been having some sleepless nights, I know, trying to organize this. Thank you very much. We are also the chair of the foundation. Thank you so much, Professor Mlangeni. And to you, the stalwart, the icon, we have had all these adjectives to describe you. I don't know how much. I have no words more to describe you than they have already. We thank you that you are still here with us. You know, it's a privilege and for me and an honor that when I wake up every day, I see you. We are still going strong, and I wish you many, many, many more happy days, and that we can live longer. You say you are 90. You say you are 39. You grew up every year. It's 10 years. From 39, you become 49. Today, you say you are 59. So now from 59, you are going back to 10, and 10 is around the corner. So I'm looking forward to that, to celebrate 100, which is 10, in a 5 years' time. We have run a long race. We are about to reach there now, at the 10 years old. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Program Director. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Silla there. Well, June is a youth month, and we really hope that young people will take a leaf from the life of Babu Mlangeni. Learn compassion, integrity, learn leadership, and everything that he embodies. Again, Silla, you spoke about COVID-19. It is real. So make sure that wherever you are safe with social distancing, wash your hands, put on the mask, and do all the necessary things. This is where the official program ends, but the family and friends will continue in Soweto, and as you can see, they will be cutting that cake. Ooh, drooling already. You take good care of yourself. My name is Bongikwala. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you to everyone who participated in this celebration this afternoon. Say goodbye from myself and the team.
What is the problem to you, sir?
Just at the after 95.
Just after 95?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't cut your head.
Another one that. Yes. No. That's too simple. Yeah. Another one. No, you is it all right? Maybe it's Harriet. This also. Yes. Yeah. And then let's take it out. Yeah. This sauce. Yes. Where's the sauce? Where's the sauce? This sauce for the cake. This sauce. Yes, for the cake.
As everyone said, we did have a conversation with Professor Mlangeni yesterday, telling us that Mlangeni was not aware of his requirement that he has been arranged for 2 days. We saw a number of speakers. It's okay.
you.